All right, guys, welcome back to Cathy Talk. On today's show, I have Mr. Marco Silva from Marco Silva Coaching. Hello, Marco. What's going on?
Hi, Cathy. Everything's good?
So, you are coming to this session from España.
Yes, that is true. I am Portuguese, but I live in Spain for almost, 17 years now.
And you have a very interesting background and specialty where you focus on coaching and you coach people really on mindset, right? Changing
Mhm.
their beliefs and getting them to a more healthy frame of mind.
Basically, for me, is well-being. Behind a healthy lifestyle, there's always an emotional well-being. And this is what I want people to get to accept themselves as they are and the journey that they are going through. And at the end is well-being, peace, tranquility, freedom, joy, connect with all of those.
So, a typical session with a client.
Uh-huh.
What are some of the major issues that you address if you're working with their emotional well being to get them to a more harmonious state, let's say, mind, mental state, and physical state? What are some of the most common issues you address to get your
Mhm.
clients there?
Well, I can give you two examples of who I'm working at the moment. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I have someone that I knew from before, but she she has this challenge with overweight.
As many women do.
As many women do, as many men do. That's true. And when it's interesting because when she came to the first session was Marco, I want practical tips, how to eat, how to exercise, how to everything. But then I was asking, you really know how to do all of that, don't you?
Mhm.
And I'm sure if I ask her, do me a diet plan or an exercise plan, she would say, okay, this is what you have to do to lose weight. So the question is, why don't you? Why aren't you losing that weight? But I respected that. That's what she wanted on the first session. Although I said that probably it's not the right way to go, we did that. What happened is that she completely disappeared in the following 2 weeks.
So after she got your meal plan and nutrition
Yeah, and
and
everything and
weight
all the
loss system,
tips.
she's like, thanks, gotta go bye.
Yeah, but it was not because of that. It was, but
Okay.
she had that, and now she put tons of pressure on her that she had to do all of that.
Right.
So she connects with anxiety, and what does she do when she's anxious?
Uh-oh, she eats.
Yes.
Oh no. So did she gain weight in 2 weeks after seeing you?
So I was kind of, because this is a 3 month program. So I was
Okay.
okay. I'm not giving up on you. What are you doing? Please don't hide. Don't ghost me. And then kind of recovered her. I recovered her, and she said, "Well, Marco, this is what happened. I was anxious, and I ate what I haven't been eating.
Oh.
So okay, let's do my approach. Let's work with your mindset.
So
What?
you already targeted her with anxiety, and a lot of women have anxiety. Like that makes total sense.
Yeah.
We want solutions, but then when we get the solutions, we make them such big tasks and obstacles that we completely shut down. And now we're not doing anything. And instead of not only not just doing anything, but doing the opposite of what we actually should be doing.
Exactly.
So now how do you work with someone and get them to understand that's what is it usually that people don't see their behavior or they just don't know what next to do?
So what you just said is the cycle of sabotage. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Ooh,
a
that's a good
cycle of
one.
sabotage. So let's use the food. Maybe you're eating things that you know that it's not good for you. what happens next is you fall into guilt and anxiety, and then to have your mind and you being out of that suffering, you go to that immediate, again, reward, which is the food. And there it goes, and it goes. So the thing to stop, there are many things you can do in a coaching session, because behind the weight and behind that anxiety, there are so many conflicts, inner conflicts, that you can address to. One that is it's called abandonment syndrome.
Ooh.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people have that too.
Yes. And
You sabotage and you feel abandoned. Okay, so what does that look like? Because some people don't recognize it.
It looks like you feel separated from the world. And when you're separated and when you feel alone, when you feel abandoned in the world, if you bring this to biological, to the, the most basic brain, it's called the limbic brain or the reptilian brain. We bring that to nature. In nature, you would face abandonment in two different ways. Abandonment from the pack, the detachment, separation from the pack. One, you would be very, you would either flight, run away from possible predators. This is when you adopt a body that is skinnier, so you can lighter, that you can run away or be invisible. So no one is seeing me. I'm not going to be bitten or eaten. Okay?
You shrink.
You shrink. You run away. You're fast. You're slick. And then the other approach is, no, I'm going to face. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to be strong and big.
And bloated. Yeah. You bloat yourself up.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, if that guy sees me, he's not going to want to fight with me because I'm so big. So that's the other polarity. I face the world by fighting it, to be strong, to be big. There's a good book, and it's called The Gabriel Method. And this story talks about this guy, John Gabriel. He's an Australian. And his conflict, that what he writes in the book, is he was being bullied by his boss for some time. So unconsciously, the protection that he had is, I think he was 400 pounds. So this size, there's no way that this person is going, to harm me because I'm so big, so strong. And when he understood that, because he did all the courses, diets, exercise, everything. When he understood that, he started to understand what is the emotional processes behind the weight and the weight loss. So he started losing weight.
The mental triggers, because we all go through, and it is a mindset and it is an emotion. So then we attach these emotions to these behaviors, which is eating. So a lot of people soothe themselves with eating. A lot of people protect themselves with eating. But one interesting thing that I heard you say, and specifically about like the abandonment, is the separation. And the first thing I think of is like feeling real lonely too, which is why a lot of people call it comfort food. Because if you're feeling separated and you feel that abandonment, you feel alone. A lot of people are lonely, and then loneliness leads to depression. And then when you're depressed, you want to eat, and it perpetuates the situation. So specifically with this woman, she came back to you. What was your now approach? What was week 2, day 1?
So the approach is, I'm going to tell you how is more or less the process. The process is, I always go to the stress moment. What is this? It's the moment that is stressing me, that I feel. So for instance, I felt this, I went to the fridge and I just ate everything I could. In the stress moment, there is always an emotion associated with that. So we discover what's the emotion behind that?
Mm-hmm.
And then what we do, it's a kind of a timeline therapy. We go to what I call the seed moment. When was the first time you felt that emotion?
In life, in your
In
life.
life.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, the seed moment is between 3 and 9 years old. So we
Why does
have,
it always go back to the childhood? My gosh,
yes,
we can't
yes.
get past our,
No.
yesteryears at all. Like it seems like everything that afflicts us today as adults all came from back
Yeah.
when.
Yeah, because in this period of time is when your emotional structure is set. It's
Hmm.
okay. I learned from, parenting that this is the way I should face the world and express myself in the world. So this, and it keeps going until you, this is not working for me. You make the
Right.
unconscious mind conscious. So this is not working
Right.
for me. Let's work that and change. So, but there are two other things that are very important that I also work.
Okay.
So there's, let's say that you have your mind or your being is built based on 3 books. The book of your memories. So you start remembering
Ooh.
things around 3 years old.
I like to erase those memory books.
you you can't erase it, but you
I
can do
know.
something very important, which is change the perceptions of
Uh-huh.
those events. If you change the perception, that includes beliefs, feelings, emotions associated. If you change the perception of that moment, you will change also the perspective you have nowadays in your life. So this
Okay,
is
so what's
the
the
idea.
next book?
So the next book is what we call the meaning of the project that is you. Your parents, when they conceived you, they have consciously or unconsciously a meaning for the project that is going to be you. So all that process since you're conceived, the 9 months of pregnancy of your mom, the delivery until you're 3 years old is extremely important. If you're a desired child, if you're a wanted child, if you're not a desired child, but when you come to this world, you are really loved.
Mm-hmm.
How your mom is emotionally during this period of time, if father is there to help you or not, if she has some kind of difficulties, if the birth is difficult as well, if she has a miscarriage before you were conceived, all of that is important. I'm just going to give you an example.
Yeah, yeah.
Biologically, the father is there to protect and to provide biologically. If that man is not there, how is this woman going to feel? And how
Mm-hmm.
she's going to feel is going to influentiate somehow
Yes.
the way we then as kids are and
Yes.
perceive the world.
Yes, that's true.
Huh?
Being a mom, I definitely can see, like I always say, kids are your reflection. They're the little micro you.
Exactly.
So if your kid is rude, if your kid is nasty, if your kid got an attitude, then that's you
Yeah.
being played out, projecting to you. If they're sweet and loving and sharing and caring, then that's also you. And sometimes they have multiple personalities.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
also you.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you can be a very, you know, sweet person to the outside and be
Hmm.
pleasing and caring, and your kid is like a little monster.
Yeah.
Probably he's allowing himself or she is allowing herself to say and do what you don't, what you're
Yes.
repressing.
Yes. Yep.
So that's also very important. He's misbehaving. Probably he's just expressing what you're not allowing yourself to do. So we
Yes.
definitely. And sometimes people come to me and say, well, my baby's always crying, or they can sleep. And I always ask more to the mother. This link mother,
Yes.
son, or daughter is probably the strongest in nature. And I always say, what are you not allowing yourself to cry? What is maintaining you awake during the night? So we go always into the person, to the individual, and to the mother in this case.
Okay, so that's number 2, and that takes you to 3 years old.
Yeah.
So now, what is book number 3?
Book number 3 is very interesting, is what some Hungarian psychologists start studying, and it's the transgenerational information, unconscious information.
Yes.
So the perspective is, I'm going to give you an example because this happens a lot. And I have, the majority of my clients are women, and are women with some relationship issues, or if they don't have relationship issues, they have self-worth issues.
Yes.
I'm not worthy. Yes. I feel small. Oh my God. And when we start looking in the family tree, it's something that comes from the mother and from the grandmother already. So this is what we call behavioral epigenetics. So epigenetics is something that goes beyond genetics. The color of your skin, the color of your eyes, the color of your hair, that goes on your genes, but also what the environment is bringing you. When I say environment, it's not only if you live in a temperate weather or cold, it's also the experiences that you have with other people.
Yep.
Also mess up with the expression of your genes. And this is something that you can, Dr. Bruce Lipton, if you know Greg Braden, probably you know him.
Yes.
He explains in his book, it's amazing, it's called Biology of Belief. So the environment also messes up with the way you express yourself in the world, your beliefs, your perception, and everything. So we also talk about that. That's the third book. The information,
and that is so true. That is definitely true, because it's not just, it's your relationship and their relationship with the people around them. Even if you just look at it from like what place you're born in. Like I have 2 older sisters and a younger brother, right? So now I'm the monkey in the middle, so to speak. And that relationship and that placement just in birth time does play a role on how you react to the world, what your influences are, the same way being firstborn makes it your experience in life different. And now expand that, a few generations up to your mom and your grandmother, and you're also being influenced by that kind of relationship. Just even that little tiny tag of, behavior learned. So now we have these 3 very each one in its own right can take you a lifetime to figure out. So now we have these 3 situations: your memory, how to change your perceptions on things that have happened in the past so that they don't continue to negatively affect you now as an adult. Your reason for being, the relationship you have with your mother or your parents, and how that has now shaped you and affected you, and the choices that you make in your life. And then the choices that they've made and the reasons why they've made those choices and how that affects you in your life. Okay. So this is why it takes you 3 months or more. Therapy was, man, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. So,
but it all is very true. I can see, how that would affect your personality, your perception, and then all of the baggage, because that this is all baggage. You just described like all these layers of baggage you have to get through to finally
Exactly.
feel like alleviated from the anxiety and stressors. It's like, why do you bite your nails? Why I got bad memories, and then I got transgenerational issues.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how do we
Everything is
make it
there.
through? So
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
your system? We have this woman, she's obese. She has this expressed anxiety. She has this guilt, which brings her back into her bad eating habits. So, what did you target with her specifically to kind of get her through, breaking away these behaviors and like finding a new way
Yeah.
to interact with food, right? Something we all interact with.
So the tool I'm going to give you can be used not only for this, but for anything. And for her, it was crucial. She just messaged me a little bit a while ago, and she said that, well, in 6 weeks, I lost 21 pounds. We
Nice.
had 2 sessions. Okay,
That's
so
very impressive. Not everybody
yeah,
wants to know that magic. What
yeah,
magic you put on her.
but it's here and from
Hmm.
here to there. When I say to there, it means emotion, connect with the emotions, connect with the feelings in your body. We spend a lot of time here, all
Yeah.
around. So we need to get down, connect with the emotions. So the tool, we talk about many, many things, but for her, so she could use this tool at home. And this tool comes from Positive Intelligence from Shirzad Shamin. So if you want to look on him, he has a nice program. And it's, for me, I call it the protocol from going to the judge, to the sage, to the wise mind.
Hmm.
The thing that makes us stay in guilt or shame or anxiety is our judge. We all have an inner judge. We all have one. The first thing you have to do is name your judge. The judge is that character that is always saying, you're not capable of doing this. You are not worthy. You can do it. You're not strong enough. Look what you've done. Look what this person done to you, said to you. Shame on them. Shame on you. That's a judge.
Hmm. That
We
judge
all,
pops up like 20 times a minute. Like any
exactly,
little thing you do, that judge is like, "Pup, pup, 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 pup,
exactly,
pup, pup." So
exactly.
how do we shut that one up?
Yeah, that's exactly. The first thing you have to do is name your judge.
Okay.
Mine is Grumpy the Terrible.
Okay.
Because it is. When Grumpy comes, ooh, this dark cloud comes. It says that. So why do we have to name that judge? Because when we name the judge, we dissociate from that character.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're
Yep.
not the judge, we're the consciousness that is aware of the judge. So, okay, here you are, Grumpy. Here you
Yeah.
are again. Now you have to be firm, tranquil, not get angry with your judge, but really, firm. Like, I don't need you now. You're making me feel sad. You're making me feel anxiety. Go away. Stop. Change. It's a little bit like a method from Joe Dispenza when he
Yes.
says the change.
Hmm.
So stop,
Hmm.
change. After that, what do you have to do? This is crucial, is bring your awareness, your body, your whole being to the present moment. So you can call it mindfulness. Eckhart Tolle would call being in the now. So bring yourself to the now. Use this beautiful instrument, that is tool that is your body, your senses. What you see it really, nothing else. What you feel, even feeling the ridges on your fingertips, the temperature, all the lines on your hands, if you need, the temperature of the air that you're breathing, how your chest works, your heart, feeling your heart, what you're hearing, what you're smelling, everything. Just bring your awareness to the present moment. That will help the judge to go away because you're more aware of your senses, and it will open the door to what he calls the sage or the wise mind. And then in the wise mind, you connect with one of the 5 superpowers of the wise mind. One is empathy. Not only empathy towards the others, but empathy towards you. So, in her case, when she's about to be overcome by the judge, and she says, stop, and connects with the empathy towards herself, she's not choosing not to eat or to whatever she's doing. It's not from fear, it's from love towards herself, towards empathy towards herself.
Right. Right.
So if I do this out of empathy, am I going to eat all this chocolate or all this ice cream or whatever? No, because I love myself. So empathy. The second one is explore. What does that mean? It means that from every situation that life is giving me, I can transform that into a gift and opportunity to learn something about me, about myself. Then we have the third superpower, that is the ability to innovate, creativity. And I guess this, knowing you a little bit, this is something that probably you connect a lot. You know,
yes.
Creativity. So when do you create the best? When do you innovate the best in your case?
3 a.m., 4 a.m. easily.
Why is that?
Everybody's asleep and I get to be in my own space with my own thoughts. And I'm like, I have canvas sitting over here and I have a sketchbook sitting over here, and I'll come up in my little solitude space that I created that's calm and inviting, and I just start sketching away or writing or working on something that is creative. And it's usually when everybody else is asleep, not intruding in my energy space.
Exactly. You're in the now. There's no distraction.
Yes.
You're there.
Nope. Yep.
See? So then we have the fourth superpower, which is action.
Oh, I'm in there. That's
Activate.
my superpower too.
Whoa. Yeah. I know that as well. And I'm sure that the next one is also yours, is what he calls a compass. You know what for you're doing this.
Oh, yes.
You know where you're going. You have a vision. You have a purpose. And the vision and the purpose that empowers you, that makes you feel good, is delivered by the wise mind, by the sage mind. When this guy is there.
Yes, I could totally see that. Definitely. This is like a lot of work. I wrote notes.
Good.
I have notes.
Good.
We got a lot of methods here.
Yes,
and I feel like we
stuff,
only scratch the surface, to be honest with you. We have the cycle of sabotage. Our bad behavior leads us to our guilt, anxiety, stress, and whatever else negative we feel. And then we go and we repeat our bad behavior. And then we have the challenge with the inner conflict of, why do I do this? Why doesn't ever, the self-doubt, the judge, your inner judge comes, and now we have to go back through our memory bank to when we were kids, before we were kids, how the relationship is with our parents. And then finally, once we identify, exactly. Once we identify all of that, we can figure out how to bring out the empathy explore it, find our creativity, take action on it, and then really understand what our purpose is so that we can move in a positive direction. And then giving ourselves all these tools. It's a lot.
Yeah, there's
It's
a
a
lot. This
lot.
is something that it's gradual. It's
Yes.
so the work in the session, normally it's a 2-hour session.
Wow.
It's really powerful, and people sometimes have a healing crisis the following days. Some will go and just going to be in the clouds for a week, and the
Yeah.
others just might feel a bit depressed because we just opened the Pandora box. The only way
Yes.
to go through it,
Yes.
to deal with this, is open it, see it, acknowledge it. Okay, I want to heal. I have to do this.
I think we need like weekly check-ins or so. I feel like I need to be on the counseling session right now. Like,
Come.
we need
Let's do this.
tune-ups. We need tune-ups. So next time we're gonna have to go live for sure. Thank you so much, Marco, Silvia. And I will put all your information available so anybody can get in touch with you.
Thank you so much. Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Big hug.